All right, chapter 2, segment 13. Imagine the daily routine of your ceiling life. What room do you wake up in? Do you live in a studio, so it's only a few steps to your kitchen? Or is it a huge mansion where the kitchen is a few stories down and you take your private elevator? Is it just you and your morning podcast? Or are there dogs and young kids sleeping on your bed too? You all walk down together to the back porch where you sip your morning tea while you watch them run around the backyard. Do you live with your extended family and have game night every weekend? Or are you in another country and fly in twice a year to see everyone? This is your life and you must live the day to day. Sure, people might be impressed with your house with high ceilings, but you have to dust the windows and pay someone else to do it. Life is made up mostly by the daily routine. Sleeping, eating, cleaning, working, passive pastimes. So really imagine each of these. Maybe that's something that I should put in there. Your ceiling daily routine. Your ceiling daily routine. Do you want to have a vineyard 3 hours from the city? Set an alarm for 3 hours and do nothing. Maybe even sit in your car listening to music for 3 hours. See how that feels. Maybe you get bored after 10 minutes and simply have to get out and do something after 15 minutes. Awesome. Now you know that maybe being 10 to 15 minutes from the city with just a small personal garden would make you happier. Your ceiling can be adjusted as many times as you need, up or down. Maybe your ceiling is painting all day in a cute little cabin. So you rent a beautiful small little thing, that's all you can afford anyways. And as you're setting up your supplies, it just seems too cramped. But you tough it out and get your first one done. You love this. Until your third painting, and everything is everywhere, and then a tray falls down off the table, ruining your first painting. Okay, now you know that maybe you actually need a medium-sized cabin with a detached garage for a safe place for your works to dry. Take your time to figure out what will work for you. Adjust as needed. This is your life. You must be happy with it. Maybe you love your house. You love living with your in-laws who adore their grandkids, and all you're looking for is a nest egg for their retirement. Start picturing going to investment firms and opening a mutual fund. Does that seem too cold and impersonal to you? What if you started a little side business with your in-laws and kids could come help out with? Now you all can spend time together making memories while slowly building their nest egg. I'll repeat this as many times as you need until it is normalized for you. This is your life and only you have to live it. So make sure you're truly fulfilled by your ceiling. Maybe you love your wife but really enjoy guy time up in the mountains. There you can be a bit wild and crazy without getting scolded. So you join a guys volunteer group that goes hiking to clean up litter. When she asks to join, in your most masculine, sexy tone, say, "I want to get dirty with you tonight, let me have this guy time," and give her a strong 3-minute kiss. This is your life, and you need to protect your time, especially from the ones you love. Sure, at first she might be a bit disappointed not to join, but if you come home energized from your guy time and make some personal memories together, ultimately both of you are happier in the long run. Only you know what gives your life the zest it deserves. Take your time to fully envision what happiness is to you. Yeah, I'm just going to call it your ceiling daily routine. Your ceiling daily routine. Okay, here. Wow, I don't really have any graphics for it. Alright, well, maybe I don't need it for this chapter. Let's see as we go through the book, I guess. Alright, Chapter 2, Segment 14. You know what life you're building. You know your ceiling. Now you need to find your floor. Well, it just named itself. Your floor. Your floor. Your floor. Again, your money sign is about living the life you want, so we aren't talking about depriving yourself here. Starving people do not make rational decisions. You need to really consider where your comfort zone starts crossing the line into overindulgence. Only you are the expert of your own life. Only you really know if that morning smoothie is essential for you. Only you know if that bad habit is actually damaging your life. Okay, so I'm thinking of a graphic for your floor that goes from pain to discomfort to acceptable. Something like that. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I do like having a graphic there, because I do need to have some graphics. So, there we go. Your floor should be the very bottom layer of your comfort zone. It's maybe 1% effort uncomfortable, but that's the max. No pain allowed. Yes, the destination is your ceiling, but you do have to live the journey to get there, so enjoy the experience. Just make sure you don't overindulge and postpone your destination by several months, years, or even decades. You are more important than money. It is just a tool to build something, so stop thinking you must hurt yourself if you want a future reward. That's not how healthy people actually function. For this exercise, thought experiments won't work. Like I said, our brains can rationalize anything, so in this step, you need to try it out. Only real-world experience will give you the answers you are now seeking. Test the waters by lowering or removing one habit for 72 hours that is costing you money. Is it uncomfortable or painful? If it's only uncomfortable, then you know that's your floor. If it's painful, then you know you went too far and need to add it back in. Again, only you can tell if a habit change is uncomfortable or painful. This process is for you alone. This is your life and you are the expert. Do not let your sibling convince you to stop buying your weekly comic book if you know that little escape is the only thing getting you through the week. At the same time, pay attention to any suggestions. Try them out. Who knows, maybe joining your uncle for a morning run really isn't as bad as you first thought. After 3 days, maybe you actually start looking forward to it. This step is all about the explore mindset. There isn't anything wrong with testing to see if adding a bowl of ice cream each night helps or makes you irritated and bloated. Seek the real-world answers for yourself. Have fun with it. After all, none of these changes are permanent if you don't like them. Try new foods, try new exercises, try writing with your other hand. Get creative and maybe even goofy. These experiences are only temporary and a valuable learning tool. See what money triggers come up for you. Again, explore and purge the emotions so you can heal and start living pain-free instead of pain-avoidant. Do you always buy a large soda? Try ordering a small for the next 3 times. Chances are that isn't painful, and you now know where your floor is. I know all the gurus preach to get out of your comfort zone, and for some people they're always restless. If that's you, then cool. But for most people, comfort makes life enjoyable, so find your floor and be proud of it. This is your life. Why wouldn't you want to enjoy it? The zombies will tell you all kinds of unsustainable advice. Smile, nod, ignore them, and come read this book again. You are building a life for you, not them. You desire your ceiling, you have to endure your floor, and you have to live with the consequences of your choices, not them. If you find yourself telling people how to live, then you need to take some time to find the money trigger behind this habit. Oh, and stop being one of the zombies. Now, go explore and find your floor. Alright, Chapter 2, Segment 15. This is exciting! You know the life you want to build. You defined your ceiling and discovered your floor. Now we can start to close the gap with some thought experiments. I think that's what I'm going to call this, is close the gap. But let me get through and see if that's going to work. Think about what you need to do to reach your ceiling in 10 years' time. Do any money triggers come up? If you had to keep working for 10 more years, do you feel relieved that the pressure is off, or pissed off at the very thought? Explore these emotions and purge outdated beliefs. Also, try a steady approach where you get 10% closer to your ceiling each year. Does that pace feel like it's too much for you, or totally way too slow? Are you The disciplined type that prefers continuous, steady progress, or do you do better in spurts of effort with recovery in between? Map that gap out to see what thoughts, emotions, and memories come up. Ooh, do I want map the gap or close the gap? I want map the gap. I like that. Map the gap. Map the gap, map the gap. And I can make little maps for my books. So map the gap. Map the gap. Let's do a 1% effort here and do the same exercises for achieving your ceiling in 8 years. Did that trigger you? Which way? Did 10 years already seem tough, but 8 years it's just impossible, so you throw this book across the room? Thank you for picking it back up. Human brains want to conserve energy. After all, it takes a lot to keep a body running. So be compassionate with yourself when you dream about winning the lotto instead of staying an extra hour at work. Make small changes. Be nice to your brain and realize that it's already running on overtime for you, and sometimes it really does just need to rest or indulge in some escapism. When you're ready to take it into the real world, try new steps and record your results. Just like with your floor, temporary 1% effort changes. No pain allowed. How smart would it be to train for a marathon to the point where you hospitalize yourself and miss the race completely? But that's what many of these self-proclaimed gurus are telling us to do. They tell tales of living in extreme deprivation and then mysteriously becoming overnight millionaires. We aren't the zombies eating up their tails anymore. We know the life we want. We know our ceiling and will not settle below our floor. We love life and respect ourselves, so there is never a need for such extreme self-abuse. We do thought experiments and 1% effort habit changes. We adjust as needed. And if we can stay the course, we set our goals. We get our goals. Maybe a little discomfort along the way, but never pain. Life is never smooth and predictable. We all know this. So with your thought experiments, throw a few curveballs in there. In a 10-year plan, what if your car dies and you have to get a new one? What if you financed a new car? Now try buying a used one for cash. How do those numbers look? Also, consider where you are in life. For an 8-year plan, you might have 3 kids starting college and a major anniversary. Add in those expenses, plus a little extra for celebrating the occasions. Your life is worth living. Stop waiting until. You're alive now, and 1% effort is easily adapted into your current lifestyle. Do not deprive yourself of your youth, memories with your kids, bonding with your partner, and decades of experiences just so one day you can start doing all those things. That would be like training so hard for a marathon that you neglect everyone, and at the finish line, no one's waiting for you. What's the point? You have the life now, so start acting like it. Sculpt the life you want in your mind. Find your ceiling, define your floor, map the gap, and live your journey now. Love that, map the gap. I want that as a t-shirt. I want that as a t-shirt. Map the gap. T-shirt. This is going to be so much fun, people. So much fun. Love it. I love the life I'm building. I love the life I'm building. I love me. You are worth enjoying the ride that you're paying for anyways. Be determined on your goals and compassionate with yourself through the gap. Okay, and now the last one within this chapter is the story. So what are we doing tonight? Izzy asked excitedly. A movie? Asked Stephanie. Sitting down would be good after that week we've had with the kids, and it's good for my hip too, said Sally. Ugh, I've been to 3 dinners and a movie this week. I want something fun, complained Samantha. Oh, poor you, young, beautiful, and spoiled by men. Susan pretended to wipe a tear from her eye. They all laughed. Well, whatever it is, let's make sure it's cheap. Money is tight right now, Stephanie explained. Did your husband change the budget again? Scowled Sally. No, actually I did. We don't have long before the kids will start going off to college, and my dad is going to retire soon, so we'll be down that income, corrected Stephanie. Izzy spoke up. You aren't choosing a budget, but a life. What's the point of doing nothing for several years just to have the money to send your kids away, and then you really can't do anything with them? Stephanie gave pause. Sally replied to her, "Easy to say when you're single and already have lots of money. It's different for a woman who is a stay-at-home mom, who has a stay-at-home and must make little paychecks cover big bills." "Life is for living, though. Don't you want to make memories with your kids?" asked Susan. Sally practically dominated Susan's personal space. "Now look here, memories are about love, not money. When my boys were little, all I had were the dirty bed sheets and a clothing line while their dad was off to fight. These boys would tie a cape around their shoulders and use sticks or rocks to play. I was always the damsel they rescued, and afterwards we drank straight from the garden hose. Those were some of my happiest—" Tears started coming to Sally's eyes. They all knew any mention of her deceased sons would send her into a depressed mood for days. Stephanie stepped forward and hugged Sally. "Live first, then see how money can help your lifestyle. It's about loving those we have while we have them." Stephanie motioned to Izzy to say something. "Oh, of course. I mean, we have each other, and I love our times together. So let's go to the restaurant we went to with the fun statue outside and take silly pictures, just for the memories." Ellie was trying her best to be creative. Oh my god. That was a slip. I said my daughter's name. I miss her. Izzy was trying her best to be creative. "I love that idea, and it lets all of us sit for a while." Samantha was trying to mask her disappointment. They went to the restaurant and took several selfies of them laughing together. Once situated inside, Izzy announced, "I'm picking up the check, so don't hold back. We only have one life to live, and I want to live mine with a full stomach." They all agreed and started looking over the menus. "Izzy, do you remember what it was like the first time you had more money than you needed?" asked Susan. All menus were set down as they turned to hear the answer. Not really. I mean, it happened so gradually. I paid for food and housing and bills. Even when I quit my jobs, the bills were still there. I mean, I thought about the house for my parents, then a car for them." She started getting lost in memories. "Geez, I can't even imagine having enough money, let alone more than I need," Stephanie confessed. "You know, actually I can recall the day," Izzy started back up. "It was for my mom's birthday, a year after I published my first book." Izzy dropped her usual smile and became very sober. "I asked what she wanted, and she told me that was nothing more than I could give her. Not materialistic, anyways." Izzy looked down at the table. "It's off. I was the richest I'd ever been, yet I felt like an absolute failure." "Money can never define our worth," concluded Sally as she patted Izzy's hand. I'll just say the girls go to dinner. The girls go to dinner. The girls go to dinner. Okay, that's chapter 2. The girls go to dinner. I am identifying and seeing a lot of different areas where I can expand and grow and make some workbooks and make some, really make people think. Yeah. Alright, we're going to end this one then.